Hello everyone. Today we will learn about some basic features about the Constitution of India through some basic multiple choice question. So without wasting any time, let's start with the session. So the first question is, which among the following statement is are true? First, a minister belonging to Lok Sabha can take part in proceeding in Rajya Sabha. Second, a minister belonging to Rajya Sabha can take part in the proceedings in Lok Sabha. Third, a minister belonging to Lok Sabha can take part in the voting process in Rajya Sabha. And fourth, a minister belonging to Rajya Sabha can take part in voting process in Lok Sabha. The options are A. Only third and fourth are true. B. Only first and second statement are true. C. Only second and fourth statements are true. Or D. Only one and third statements are true. The correct answer to this question is B. That is only first and second statements are true. A minister is neither a part of Lok Sabha or a Rajya Sabha and can take part in proceedings in both of them without participating in voting process. He must also get elected or nominated either of the house within 6 months from becoming a minister. Let's move on to the next question. What are the three types of question asked in the questionnaire? Options are starred, unstarred, and short notice. B. Very important and important questions. C. Starred, unstarred, and emergency question. Or D. Expert, professional, and detailed question. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, starred, unstarred, or short question are asked in question hour. But what are these types of questions? Let's see it in the next slide. Basically, start questions require oral answers and they can be followed by a supplementary question. Basically, start questions are those questions which can be answered orally and no formal thing is needed in its answering. They can also be followed by supplementary question, that is a follow-up question for better understanding of the issues and better resolving of these issues. Unstart question are the ones that need written answers and because of this they are not followed by supplementary questions. These are those type of questions in which the answer has to be given in a written form and not in oral form. Every minister has a kind of chat with them on which they get questions and in which they write answers and pass on to the minister or the speaker. There is no follow-up question in unstart question because in these type of question giving repetitive answer or explanatory answer to the same question becomes very monotonous and time taking. Short notice questions are those questions that are asked by giving a notice of less than 10 days. They require an oral answer. Short notice questions are those type of questions that can be in a form of a procedural thing or a detailed analysis of some kind of issue. Therefore, the ministers are given at least 10 days or less than 10 days to give an oral answer of the detailed analysis or the detailed answer of those types of questions. They require oral answers and has to be given in the session. Now, after understanding this, let's move on to the next question. Which among the following statement is or not true about the no confidence motion? Options are: there is no need to state the reason for its adoption in the Lok Sabha. B. Once passed, it leads to the resignation of the entire Council of Ministers. C. It can also be moved against an individual minister. Or D. No confidence motion needs the support of 50 members to get admitted in the House. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is, it can also be moved against an individual minister. But what is no confidence motion? The no confidence motion can only be moved against the entire Council of Ministers. It cannot be moved against some individual minister. Now, let's move on to the next question. Which among the following statements are not true about the public bill? Options are: A. Generally, it has better chance of approval than a private bill. B. Public bill is introduced by the minister in the parliament. C. Notice period for introduction of bill is 1 month. And D. A public bill demonstrates the policies of the ruling party government. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, notice period for introduction of bill is 1 month. This statement is not true about the public bill. The notice period for an introduction of bill is 7 days. The notice period of 1 month is required for a private bill. So, notice period for the introduction of bill, that is 1 month, is not true regarding a public bill. Now let's move on to the next question. Which among the following statement is true about the money bill? First, money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha carries the final decision-making authority on whether a bill is a money bill or not. Third, Rajya Sabha can only make recommendations to the money bill. It cannot change it or reject it. Or fourth, money bill can be introduced only after the recommendation of the President. The options are: A. Only 1, 2, 3 are true. B. Only second and fourth statement are true. C. Only second statement is true. And D. All are true. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, all are true. So, the next question is: which among the following statement is true about the financial bill? Statement 1: all money bills are financial bills, but not all financial bills are money bills. क्या second statement? Some types of financial bills can be changed or rejected by Rajya Sabha. Third, some types of financial bill can be introduced in either of the house, that is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. And fourth, all type of financial bills can be introduced in Lok Sabha. Options are: A. Only 1 and 3 are true. B. Only second and fourth are true. C. 1, 2 and 4 are true. Or D. Only 1, 2 and 3 are true. The correct answer to this question is option D. That is, only 1, 2, 3 are true. The next question is: which among the following statements are true about joint sitting of the two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Options are: first, the joint sitting takes place according to the rules of Lok Sabha and not Rajya Sabha. Second, the quorum of the joint sitting is 1/10 of the total member of the both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Third, so far there has been 3 joint sitting of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And fourth, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides over the joint sitting of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Options are statement 1, 3, and 4 are true, B. 2, 3, and 4 are true, C. First and second are true, or D. All are true. The correct answer to this question is option D, that are all the statements regarding the sitting of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are true. The three instances where joint sitting took place were with the introduction of Dowry Prohibition Bill 1960, Banking Service Commission Bill 1977, and the Prevention of Terrorism Bill 2002. Let's move on to the next question. The 10th schedule of the Constitution was added by which amendment of the Constitution? Options are A. 24th Amendment Act, B. 52nd Amendment Act, C. 61st Amendment Act, or D. 85th Amendment Act. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is 52nd Amendment Act. So let's know about the 52nd Amendment Act. The 52nd Amendment Act 1985 is popularly known as the Anti-Defection Law. It provided for the disqualification of members of the parliament and state legislatures on the ground of defection and added a new 10th schedule containing the details in this regard. The amendment was done by the Rajiv Gandhi government. So basically, the anti-defection law came from the 52nd Amendment Act 1985. But what is anti-defection law? Anti-defection law means when a person belonging to a particular party is elected as MP or MLA, after being elected, changes his party or goes from the party he was elected as a minister to another party, it is known as defection. So, to curb this defection, a law came by the amendment in the constitution due to which to, due to which the anti-defection law came into force. As per this law, no one should leave a party from which he or she has been elected and go join another party after being elected as an MP or MLA. If anybody does that, the consequences are severe. Now let's move on to the next question. Which of the following statements are not correct about the Rajya Sabha? Options are Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, B. It is duly constituted for the first time on 3rd April 1952, C. 12 of the Rajya Sabha members are nominated by President, or D. One third of its members retire every year. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, one third of its members retire every year is not correct about the Rajya Sabha. Now, let's proceed to the next question. Which among the following articles of the Constitution of India says that all public places are open to all citizens? A. Article 15 Clause 2, B. Article 16 Clause 2, C. Article 17, or D. Article 18. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is Article 15 Clause 2. So let's talk about Article 15 and its Clause 2. Article 15 talks about the prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Its Clause 2 states that no citizen shall, on the grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them be subject to any disability, liability, restriction, or conditions with regard to a. access to shops, public restaurants, hotels, play palaces of public entertainment. B. The use of wells, tanks, bathing huts, roads, places of public resort maintained wholly or partly out of state funds or dedicated to use of the general public. So basically, Article 15 Clause 2 says that all public places are open to all citizens without any discrimination. Article 15 Clause 2 also states that no citizen shall, on the grounds only of the religion, race, caste, sex, descent of place of birth, residence, or any of them, be ineligible for or discriminated against in respect of any employment or office under the state. So now, let's move on to the next question. Which among the following is the constitutional body appointed by the President every 5 years to review center state financial relationships? Options are A. Finance Commission, B. Interstate Commission, C. Interstate Council, or D. Zonal Council. The correct answer to this question is A. That is Finance Council. The Finance Commission of India was established by President of India as per Article 280 of the Constitution. So, now let's know what is Article 280 and what it means. Article 280 talks about Finance Commission. Clause 1 states that the President shall, within 2 years from the commencement of this Constitution, and thereafter, at the expiration of every fifth year or at such earlier time as the President considers necessary, by order constitute a Finance Commission, which shall consist of a chairman and four other members to be appointed by the President. Clause 2 states that it shall be the duty of the Commission to make recommendation to the President as to a. The distribution between Union and State of the net proceeds of taxes which are to be or may be divided between them under this chapter and the allocation between the states of the respective shares of such proceeds. B. The principle which should govern the grant in aid of the revenue of the state out of the consolidated funds of India. C. Any other matter referred to the Commission by the President in the interest of the sound finance. Clause 3. The Commission shall determine their procedure and shall have such powers in the performance of their function as Parliament may by law confer on them. So basically, Articles 280 reads that the President should, within 2 years of the commencement of the Constitution and thereafter, on the expiry of every fifth year or at such interval as he/she thinks necessary, would constitute a Finance Commission. Now let's move on to the next question. In which year the first general election to Lok Sabha was held in India? Options are A. 1948, B. 1949, C. 1950, or D. 1951. The correct answer to this question is option D. That is, the first general election of Lok Sabha was held in 1951. The results of this election was that it was won by the Indian National Congress and consequently the Jawaharlal Nehru became the first democratically elected Prime Minister. Let's move on to the next question. New All India service can be initiated in India only if the following makes a recommendation. Options are A. President, B. Rajya Sabha, C. Lok Sabha, and D. Councils of Ministers. The correct answer to this question is option B, Rajya Sabha. Now, let's move to the next question. Which among the following amendments of Constitution of India had accorded precedence to the DPSP over fundamental rights? The options are 25th Amendment, B. 46th Amendment, C. 59th Amendment, and D. 44th Amendment. The correct answer to this question is the 42nd Amendment. The 42nd Amendment gave primacy to the directive principle by stating that no law implementing any of the directive principles should be declared unconstitutional on the ground that it violates any of the fundamental right. The next question is the Parliament of India is consisted of which of the following? Options are A. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, B. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the President, C. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha President and Prime Minister, and D. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and Councils of Ministers. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is Parliament of India consists of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the President. Now let's talk about the Parliament of India. India has the bicameral parliament made of President, Rajya Sabha, which is also known as Upper House, and Lok Sabha, which is also known as the Lower House. The Lok Sabha is represented by the people of India, and Rajya Sabha are represented by the elected members or the ministers. Now let's move on to the next question. What is the upper limit of election expense in a parliamentary constituency? Options are A. 10 lakh, B. 25 lakh, C. 70 lakh, or D. 1 crore. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is 70 lakhs. Let's talk about the expense in some more details. So, as per the current norms, the maximum limit of election expense per candidate is given as follows. In Lok Sabha constituencies, the 70 lakhs is set for the all states except Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, and Sikkim. 54 lakhs of the expense is set for Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, and Sikkim. The 70 lakh is set or determined for the N city of Delhi. 54 lakh is set for other union territories and assembly. Now let's talk about the assembly constituencies. 28 lakhs is set for the bigger state and the N city of Delhi, and 20 lakhs is set for small states and UTs. Now let's move to the next question. The East India Company was deprived of monopoly of trade with India except tea trade by which of the following acts? The options are the Charter Act of 1813, B. the Charter Act of 1833, C. the Charter Act of 1853, or D. the Government of India Act 1858. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is the Charter Act of 1830. The Charter Act of 1813 ended the monopoly of the East India Company in India. However, the company's monopoly in trade with China and trade in India with India was kept intact. Now let's move to the next question. Who decides the reasonableness of the restriction placed on the fundamental rights in India? Options are A. Parliament, B. Courts, C. President, and D. the Prime Minister. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is, court decides the reasonableness of the restriction placed on the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution for the betterment of the society and the country as a whole. But they are not absolute and have certain restrictions and can be imposed by state according to the procedure established by the law. However, these restrictions must be reasonable and not arbitrary. The reasonableness of the restriction are also decided by the courts. Now let's move to the next question. Which constituent amendment gave right to education to children in India? Options are A. 86th Amendment, B. 90th Amendment, C. 91st Amendment, or D. 97th Amendment. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is 86th Amendment gave the right to education to India. So let's gather some basic information about what is 86th Amendment talks about. The 86th Constitution Amendment Act 2002 made the elementary education a fundamental right in India. It added new articles like Article 21A in fundamental right and amended the DPSP also, due to which the Article 21A declares that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all the children of age of 6 to 14 years in such manner as the state may determine. Now let's move to the next question. Which among the following is a correct statement? Option A, USA supremacy of constitution and Britain supremacy of the parliament. In Britain there is supremacy of constitution and in USA there is supremacy of the parliament. C, Britain and USA both have supremacy of constitution. And option D, Britain and USA both have supremacy of parliament. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is USA has a supremacy of constitution, but Britain has supremacy of the parliament. Next question is which among the following was not a union territory before? And it was accorded the status of full-fledged state. Options are A. Himachal Pradesh, B. Manipur, C. Tripura, or D. Sikkim. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is Sikkim. Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura were the union territories before they were upgraded to full-fledged state. Sikkim was admitted in India as a full-fledged state only and was not given the status of a union territory.